going on, Jerome's beautiful day for some Q&A. Thank you, everyone who submitted questions. We'll put it on the community tab periodically, and thank you so much for that. Also, starting to feel like winter. Not really, though. Anyways, first up is Venom's Viking. Let's talk about Will the Thrill. He's been lights out. So, Vikings and kickers, knocking on all the wood. You have to do that. But he's been perfect with PATs, 9-9 out of field goals, 3 for 3 on 50-plus yard field goals, long of 58. That clang at the bank, as well as the 53-yarder he made late against the Jets in the rain. It's impressive, man. Frankly, he should be up for NFC Special Teams Player of the Week, but, I mean, it was good to spend a draft pick on a kicker, and he just has the right mental makeup, right? And it just seems like nothing bothers him, and that's the issue with kickers always, is that they seem to get inside their own head. I don't think that Reichert is going to have that issue. He's got a big-time leg. He's got the accuracy. He's kicked in big-time games at Alabama. He's been in front of raucous crowds, so nothing like that is going to bother him. Overall, I think he's just a good kid. I think that the Vikings, again, knocking on all the wood, they may have found them. They may have got one. Next. Shane Nelson, huge fan of yours, Andy. Thank you. I've been watching for almost 3 years now. I just want to say thanks truly for all the work you do. Thank you for coming along. Wouldn't go anywhere else to watch Vikings content. Thank you. Question, what is the biggest factor for this team to sustain success? I don't want it to end. Skull. Well, number one factor, of course, is health. Right? And the Vikings have dealt with some injury issues already on both sides of the ball, waiting on getting on Hockenson and Reisner back, as well as Addison missed some time with that ankle. And also defensively, Pace has missed some time. Guys have been dinged up. So it just shows the depth that this team has. And a lot of other teams have gone through injury issues, and they've just been tanked. They've just been ganked and stuff. But again, knocking on all the wood. Darnold stays healthy. He's been dinged up a couple times already. And the defense, especially that front seven, is going to be good to go. I mean, that's the number one factor. But outside of that, I think just remembering who they are. And I do think that players and coaches are human. And there was a revenge factor with the Packers with Aaron Jones. There was a revenge factor with O'Connell and Darnold with the Jets. Just do you. And stop trying to force the offense of what you want it to be. Just take what's there and don't forget your identity. Same thing on defense. Right, so I think that's the number one thing to sustain success. Number three, Nathan A. Bailey. Should the head office look at adding any additions to help smooth things up on the offensive side of things after the last 2 weeks of less ideal performances? Well, Reisner coming back will be huge. It gives you an option over Ed Ingram, who continues to struggle. Defensively, I mean, Dexter Lawrence, Quentin Williams one time, that's the main thing. But also, running back-wise, the Vikings should look to add, right? Because Ty Chandler, I like him. I think he's better as a supplemental runner. And Aaron Jones, I felt like they're relying way too much on him early in the season. And could that have played a part in his hip injury? Yes, certainly could have. And there's a couple obvious candidates here. Number one, Kinkenna Nwangu is just on the Jets practice squad, so you can just add him to the 53. You could do a late-round pick swap for Cam Akers and the Texans, two familiar faces, once Joe Mixon and Damon Pierce gets back. Also, I mean, Dalvin Cook is on the Cowboys practice squad. Or, pie-in-the-sky stuff, trading for Etienne, which probably is not going to happen. Yeah, but either way, finding someone that can consistently get you yardage in the running game, as well as if you pick up a guy like Akers, he's a more than capable pass blocker. Kinkenna, maybe not so much. Next, TC Eng feels like our receivers should be getting a little more. And it might be needed to go far in the playoffs. Hoping the whole team just keeps getting more in sync and better with the return of Hockenson and the rest of the team healthy, which is perfectly fair. Now, Jefferson has 4 touchdowns each in the first 4 games. Jalen Naylor had 3 touchdowns in the first 3 games as well. The Vikings passing game was good to go. Got slowed in the second half against the Packers and non-existent against the Jets, but I mean, respect, the Jets are one of the best defenses in the National Football League. Addison has been easing his way back in, which is really good to see. And once Hockenson gets back, I mean, that's adding gasoline onto an already roaring fire. It's going to be good to go there. But it does feel like things have been out of sorts a bit. I think a part of that is the Vikings' inability to run the ball consistently against the Jets, keeping play action viable, and also keeping things at second and short, third and short, etc. So hopefully that's going to get back to good very soon. Tim Lindsay, lastly. What's your best take and possible reasons for the last 2 weeks second half nail biters? There are a lot of possibilities, and we may never really know. Ultimately, do you think that this gets figured out soon, or it's just how it is in the NFL? Well, part of it is, the Vikings played a couple of good teams. Respect. The Jets' defense is legit. I was told that Aaron Rodgers still has his fastball, and the Packers are a solid team, and they were at home, right? So the fact that people focus on, they tried to give the game away, but the Vikings didn't. And the Vikings made plays at the end of both games, both offensively and defensively, to lock this thing away. The Packers, Darnold finally driving down for that game-bracing field goal, as well as Murph getting two turnovers towards the end. And also for the Jets, Darnold sacking up and leading a field goal drive, as well as obviously a Stephon Gilmore play at the end. So I still chalk this up as a win. And it's hard to win a game in the National Football League. It would be wonderful to blow the doors off of everyone by 50 points, except that's just not feasible. That's just not viable. And being able to maintain a lead as you're playing to win and playing not to lose, that's a skill. That's an inherent skill, especially if you're going to have a good football team, which the Vikings do have. And also being able to deal with in-game adversity. Oh, there's a turnover. Oh, there's an injury. Oh, there's a call that didn't go our way. No factor. Like, what can you do now to make a play? You can't change the past. You can't do anything about it. But I think it does build up some grit and resiliency in this team. And really proud of how they've operated the last couple weeks. But also, it comes down to coaching adjustments at halftime. Other teams have adjusted. The Vikings maybe not so much. And also just putting that stress, those opening 2 drives on both sides of the ball and start the second half. Got to start fast. Just got to go from there. But that's it. Q&A for this beautiful day. You guys are the best. You know what to do. Skol, production value.